If you've ever wished you had a professional copy editor built right into Microsoft Word, one that knows the Chicago Manual of Style, APA, AMA, and more, this video is for you. MarkMyWords is a Word add-in that sends your document to Claude, an AI from Anthropic, and gets back track corrections, explanatory comments, and style guide citations, all without ever leaving Word. Once you've installed the add-in, you'll see the Mark My Words tab up here in the Ribbons toolbar. The Mark My Words ribbon features several tools, but we're going to focus on the program itself. Let's run Mark My Words. You can select spelling, grammar, and so on. These menu items a la carte, or you can use one of my editing presets, light editing, heavy editing, academic editing, and so on. If you want to use your own prompts, you can include them in the custom instructions box. Here you can choose the style guide you want to use. I'm using Chicago for this demo, but you can switch to a different guide depending on your needs. You can also specify a different style guide in the custom instructions box, or list your own style requirements. I always ask Claude to include explanatory comments for any substantial changes, along with suggestions for improvement. In a minute, you'll see how slick this is. Before editing, Mark My Words shows you approximately what processing with Claude will cost. This is strictly pay-as-you-go. No subscription is needed. We're typically talking just a few cents for several paragraphs, or a couple of bucks for an average novel. I can't believe how cheap it is, but it's good to know how much you're spending, especially if you're regularly running the program on long documents. Let's save our settings and close. Here I have a short document with some problems, most of which a spell checker or grammar checker would never catch. I'll select a few paragraphs and run Mark My Words. You can run it on the whole document if you like, but for this demo, we'll keep it short. Here we go. Mark My Words is now sending my text to Claude, and we're waiting for the response. Depending on the length of the selection, this usually takes 5 to 15 seconds. The progress bar keeps you informed about what's going on, and you'll especially appreciate this if you're editing long documents. We're nearly finished. Hold on. Editing complete. We've processed one text chunk. Total processing time took 19 seconds. And here we go. Every change is marked as a tracked revision, so you can see exactly what was done. Additions are underlined. Deletions are struck through. You'll still need to edit the document as usual, but you were going to do that anyway, right? You can think of Claude as a sharp-eyed assistant who cleans things up and flags possible problems before you begin. Claude's comments are especially helpful. They explain why a change was made, not just what was changed. This is the difference between a tool that silently rewrites your work and one that shows and tells you what it is doing. Claude's comments can also help you train upcoming editors in the way they should go. Here's something I'm particularly proud of. When Claude makes a decision based on a style guide, it cites the style guide by name, and it makes the name a link you can click to see the style guide online. Claude also includes the probable section number. It can't actually access the style guide, but it still has a good idea about what's in there and where it is. If you need to look it up, you can. For things like obvious typos, Claude usually won't add a comment. Again, Claude's revisions come through as standard track changes, so you stay in control. You can accept or reject each change as you see fit. If Claude gets something wrong, and sometimes it does, just reject the change. Your original text is right there. This isn't a tool that rewrites your document behind the scenes and hands you something unrecognizable. It's a collaborator. You're still the editor. So there you go. MarkMyWords works on Windows with Word 2016 and later. If you'd like to try MarkMyWords, the link is in the description below. Installation takes about 2 minutes, and you'll need a free Anthropic API key, which you can get at anthropic.com. I really hope you'll try MarkMyWords. If this was useful, please hit like and subscribe. It genuinely helps. And if you have questions or feedback, drop them in the comments. I read everything. Thanks for watching.